Been in construction ever since I was about 18 years old. Did a lot of stuff. I worked for Disney for 15 years, doing everything and anything they needed done. They broke it, we fixed it. If they dreamed it, we built it. Other than that, it's just been I build a builder and developer in Buckhead, Atlanta. Done that for a while, Dunwoody. I've done the fly ride up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is like soaring for Disney, same thing. Other than that, that's about it. Well, right now we're working on what they call a fix and flip, which we bought a house that in need of repairs and had some code violations on it. So we bought it and found out it had a lot more problems than we anticipated, but we still bought it cheap enough that it's well worth the time and the money on it. And it's just been a challenge, which that's what life's all about, is challenges.
Overcoming challenges.
Yeah. And that's what we're working on right now. And then when we bought that, we were looking at the two lots next door. There was two vacant lots, and I don't know, we wound up with the two vacant lots next door now. We're doing new construction on those starting hopefully in the next 60 to 90 days. We should be finished by April. Probably, I'm hoping by the end of April, 1st of May, since we've run into some challenges with the county and the city and a couple of things like that kind of slows you down, but you have to anticipate for that. And plus we're adding a third story, which changed the whole outlook and the whole dimension of the house. We decided to get rid of the 90% of the stucco on the house and do siding and stuff just to make it more appealing, make it look brand new.
Instead of that late 60s, early 70s vibe that it had.
Yeah, because it still had the original 1974 tub shower combo with a light in it, and it's sitting in the front yard now. That came from, it was installed in 1974. And back then, those were the most expensive tub shower combos you could buy. They were the most modern, the most sought after fixtures you could get.
Oh, hello. And you actually hit all three of those. That's impressive. About time. Oh, he's about to get your ass cracked. That's gonna be on camera at least a couple times, I'm sure.
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike. How long you been working on this project so far?
This project?
Yeah.
Shoot, since October, I believe. Well, I own my own company, so basically I'm subcontracted through them. I've known Wes from high school, man. We go way back. He's a good guy. We work together quite a bit. You know, I've worked construction my entire life. He has too. He's a general contractor. I'm just an LLC owner, but I've worked construction my entire life, man.
What's the fun part about this job?
When we get off, man. Ain't a whole lot of fun parts about it, man. We get off, we try to make the best of it. It ain't fun being away from your family, family, your loved ones, my girl. But, you gotta do what you gotta do as a man.
What are you looking for this project after it's done?
I want to see the end result, man. It's always the very end is so satisfactory. It's so satisfying, dude. It's while you're in there doing it, you're like, oh man, this is rough. And then at the end of the day, you look at it and you're like, damn, I did that. I built that. That's what it's all about, man.
Is it a bowed one or is it crowned? How bad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It'd be alright. Yeah, I know, but yep, that happens.
We went to Tennessee for his birthday in 2017, and as soon as we got home, he was like, when can we go back? So we started going back about every other month. Then we started looking for property, thinking we were going to retire up there. So I bought our first piece of property in June of 2018, and then he bought a piece of property
Next door.
across the street in September of 18, right before we got married. And in 2022, we broke ground on that piece of property. It was always going to be for sale, but he had a dream of what he wanted to build, and I just financed it.
Yeah, it was one of those where it was a I designed it, built it, and we both together furnished it for short-term rental. We themed it and everything. It's the only property up there on the mountain that has an actual dog park. There is no sheetrock involved in the house at all. It's all rough cut lumber, locally sourced, except for some of the Pecky cypress we used in the master bedroom and the main floor, because Pecky cypress now is a very rare and hard to get lumber. But it was one of those where I wanted to be unique, do the things that I'd learned from Disney, believe it or not. A lot of the theming up there, when you see it, and a lot of the stuff came from Fort Wilderness and the Lodge, where I spent a lot of time and a lot of work over there, revamping and rehabbing and doing stuff over there on their cabins, their lodges, stuff like that. So it was just an opportunity to showcase what I really enjoy most, is being creative.
It's
She
called
named it.
Smoky Mountain Legacy because Ralph is originally from Tennessee, and I found out my great-grandfather was from Sevier County. So he's descended from one of the Tiptons, which were some of the founders of Cades Cove.
Yeah.
So we built it as a legacy, a tribute back to the old ways of doing things, using local resources, things that you find up there in the mountains, and as a legacy for our grandkids.
Yeah, because I was originally born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. Been going to the Smoky Mountains ever since I can remember. My parents, my aunts and uncles all owned cabins up there too, so it was kind of like being back at home. And the biggest thing for me was my grandfather and my grandmother lived next door to each other, and when they married, they combined their two farms in Gazaway, Tennessee. And my grandfather would not build anything if he couldn't go up on the woods, and he would cut the trees, he would do everything and bring them to his lumber mill, cut them, and he built everything by sourcing everything off his property. Any of the rocks came out of the rivers, they would go to the rivers with their old trucks and stuff and get stones and stack stone walls and stuff. So that's basically what I wanted to do, is emulate what the ancestors of Tennessee did and how they built things. And that was the story behind it. That's the reason why she named it the Smoky Mountain Legacy. Well, when we sold it, I was gonna retire and really not do a whole lot, just do some contracting. And then she was one day kind of going through MLS and found the old house over there, the one we're working on now, and it was such a good price, we went and looked at it and decided, hell, let's do another one. So we just...
Different because it's a fix and flip. It's not a ground up construction, but he's done renovations on homes before, so.
Oh yeah. Well, it had been vacant for 7 years. The original owner just kept adding stuff to it and adding stuff to it, and then they finally sold it to a lady we bought it from, and there was so many problems with code enforcement and everything else that they just basically shut her down. And we went in, took it over, and the further we got into the project, the worse it got. We found extension cords running through the wall instead of regular wiring. They ran extension cords in the wall. We found sheetrock. We tore sheetrock out and found light switches and lights that were actually working behind the sheetrock. So, like I said, then at that point, it just became, let's just gut everything out but the block and start all over again. And that's basically what we did. A nice single-family home with a mother-in-law suite out back, basically. An entertainment home for people that are second home. Because you got
People who love the view of the beach.
Yeah, because we're right at the view of the beach, vacant lot in front of us. The third floor, when we do the third floor, actually has a 16-foot observation deck on the top that you can just set up on the third floor and do nothing but look at the ocean, because it's unobstructed view right there on the ocean right there. Basically, when you're on the third floor, you can see everything. You can see almost 360-degree water, because you could turn around and look out the back and you can see the bay behind it over there. So it's really interesting.
Okay, if David stops by, tell him you only put that wall up so you could put the tarp on it and then plywood so that the mother-in-law suite doesn't get ruined. That's it. And then let him know that the new roofing plans and stuff are in from permitting, but we need to cover that wall. If it makes it, we can cover
No,
that
David
wall.
ain't gonna stop by and say shit.
Oh yeah, he will. You watch. He's gonna show up.
Nah, if he does, it's not his business. I mean, I got the plans into the city. That's not my problem.
I know, but Hank said we could dry in that section back here so it doesn't ruin the sheetrock.
Yeah, he can't say anything about this anyways. It's not like I framed out front. It'll be all
I
right.
know.
We're fine.
All right, see you.
All right, bye. What's really going on? Oh, we need to get this wall sheet. Hey, this cut back here.
What?
So we stopped the wall here, right?
Okay.
So remember, we got to cut the roof back over here. Remember, we got to bring that wall up, set our hangers. We got to build a small knee wall here. So I need you to get that cut. I need you to get that cut out and that wall built on top of this knee wall up, so we can put our hangers and our ledger boards on this side for our landing. Because then once we're done sheathing this as well, we have to put our ledger boards here.
So you want me to cut it flush with that, or what are you talking?
Cut it flush with the block back here. Remember, that's got to go up for that landing. We just got to do it.
We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's it. You better be careful before I call Emily. I don't know, but if you go in the middle, there's a whole... Dude, there's a whole fucking header right in the middle. Dumbass. God damn.
I'm the asshole that goes over there and tells him what he's doing wrong, and he gets mad. The kid's good at what he does. Rehab stuff is new for him as far as the problems we run into. Everybody's problem with rehabs is they want to try to make everything straight and level, and you can't. And this is the frustrating part with rehabs is when you're dealing with a crooked foundation or a bad wall or bad block work, you have to make it look level even though it's not level. And that's that's the hardest part for most of the guys is they want to do it perfect, but you can't. You have to make it look perfect. So it's kind of like 6 to 1, half to the other. Which way do I go? You just have to make it look as best as you can. So there's a struggle there for him. But other than that, it's pretty relatively easy for him. He's the project manager. He stays there with the other guys and they work and see what they can do. Just being with my kids every day. You know, we've worked together ever since he was 8. I would take him to my job sites with me, and during the spring and summer breaks, he would stay with me on the job sites. And I had a nail gun in his hand when he was 8, and basically just been with him. We worked at Disney together and everywhere, and pretty much it's a joy that you can spend this much time with your kids day after day.
Just to get them finished, get them sold, and have a place for us. That's really all I want at the end of the day. I just want a house that's ours, that's paid for, where we want to be, which for him is on the beach.
Yeah, I mean, the vision for both of us is being on the water. Yesterday I was playing back on my phone the video of the rolling rivers and the creeks up in the Smoky Mountains versus listening to the ocean. Two totally different scenes, two totally different sounds. The ocean's more soothing to me because I'm used to the rolling rivers and the creeks and stuff. She likes the water rushing over the rocks. Either way, they're both can put you in a serenity kind of a feel. But the long term is being close to the water, just having the grandkids come and stay so they can enjoy the water and stuff like that. That's why it's more of that. And it's also the demographics. It's where you're at. If you're going to build and develop and invest, just make sure you do it where if something goes wrong, you always have an exit strategy or an exit plan. I've always built and developed. I've loved that part of it, and I wanted to go back and do it again. And she's allowed me the opportunity to do that. For me, it's the communication. It's knowing what to look for when your builder or your developer is doing things. the biggest thing is everybody does builder grade and they just don't put the time and effort into it.
Well, everything is an upgrade.
Yeah.
If you're buying a box, a track home, if you want, knobs on your cabinets, well, that's an upgrade. If you want, granite countertops, that's a major upgrade. If you want, a specific tile in your bathroom, you're paying extra for that too.
Yeah.
We tend to upgrade everything to begin with.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for me is being at Disney for so long, if it broke, typically I had to go fix it. And if it broke again or something went wrong, I was typically the one I was there for so long, I'd wind up having to go back and fix it again. Well, Disney doesn't prepare for these things. For me, it's when you build your house and you develop it, you want it to be as user-friendly as possible. You don't want to have to go out to the front yard and shut your water meter off just to change a shutoff valve on your toilet. And builders don't think that way anymore. They don't put shutoffs in there, and they don't make it user-friendly. They just make it very cheap and complicated for somebody coming in to fix something. And so that, for me, that's why I've learned at Disney, I want to try to carry over is making the homes quality and making them the fact where they're friendly user. That's the biggest thing is, can I use it? Can I get to it? Can I move a plug? Can I move a switch? Can I add this? Can I add that? It's just the forethought going into it to make it easier for everybody to live there.
They're about 40.
We won 49 3/4
Okay.
and one 46 3/4.
49 3/4, 46.
Yeah. 46 3/4, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Just like me. 46 and a half, you said?
Yeah.
Instead of 3/4?
Yeah. Fight it with some right there.
Can we throw you up a water?
Sure.
Fertile want one? Gravel.
Well, the biggest thing right now is we've got our material to do our third floor. So even though our permits aren't approved, they're in to be approved. So what we can do is we'll build between now and tomorrow. I want my staircase walls up, and I want all my walls framed for the third floor, but down on the ground. So as soon as our permit's issued, all we got to do is stand them up. So basically you drive by in the morning and there won't be nothing up there. You drive by 8 hours later and the third floor is done except for the roof panels. Because we'll just stand the walls up, because we'll put the sheathing, the siding, cut the openings for the windows and doors, and then once we get our permit, we just stand the walls up, bolt them down, and call it a day. Very simple, very easy. That's our accomplishment this week, between now and the end of the day tomorrow and half a day Saturday. The bad thing is it's my wrong 2x4x16s that Home Depot delivered wrong. Those are supposed to be pressure treated. That's for this wall up here. For my exterior walls to put my siding on, has to be pressure treated. So they kind of blew that, so they're swapping those out tomorrow. The stair stringers were supposed to be here today, but they won't be here till tomorrow. So it kind of, here we are another day behind because Home Depot can't get their shit together, which is typical for Home Depot. 84 lumber and all of them, they're worse than that. Because if you're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with 84 lumber, you're on the bottom of the totem pole. That's the bad part. Other than that, that's what we're trying to accomplish this week. And then, like I said, I got a 2 o'clock FaceTime with the buyers. The buyers of that are taking over the design. They're taking over the architect drawings and the engineer drawings, which is great. that puts the burden back on them when I start to build it. If it's something they don't like, that goes back on them as a change order and goes back to the engineer and the architect that drew it for them. So I'm happy about that. I'd rather them do that, but we'll see how that goes today too. But other than that, we should be able to start wrapping things up after we get the third floor up next week. So if you're going to go down, you got to drop that wall. What's that wall right now?
If you're coming off this level, you've got 20 and a half less than, you got right at the 100 inches over there. So that's what, 8'4".
Right. So okay? That's what I'm saying. So we're 9'4.5" here, down to 8'4" there, right? Well, that's a foot.
Yeah, it's too much. But I could
No, it's
quadruple up the base plate to make it the same.
No, just leave it.
Or the top plate rather.
Just leave it like it is, and we'll just drop and go underneath.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? In other words, 2x12s here. All of these are 2x12s. 2x10s this way, that drops us down 2 inches. But we can lower it down and butt it into the wall. That'll give me enough to get a fascia board on it to cover it. That way the roofs are like this. This main roof will drip onto this roof and run down.
You got 2 inch too. Yep.
Yeah, which is good because I can get a 2-inch piece of drip cap
Okay.
to cover that. Now your end walls, remember your end walls.
Are pitched. Well, no, that's the whole reason I want to do this wall first, right? I want to come this way
Yeah,
first.
so you can get your pitch.
Right.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yep.
No, I'm okay with that.
So we're not gonna quadruple up that top plate over there. You're just gonna let it run.
Yeah.
Just double top plate. Run from there. Okay.
And then I'm gonna order 8-foot 2x10s or 2x8s for that going across, because that's just a 6-foot span. But that'll give me,
A little bit of hangover.
give me 2 foot. If that's 6 foot 6.5, that'll give me a 1.5 foot overhang, which I'm okay with that.
Well, it's 6 foot inside to inside. So
Inside.
So outside to outside from our actual 2x6, we can steer closer to 7 foot.
Okay, so we'll have a foot overhang,
Foot over.
which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you pay for the lot, then I pay off my owner financing, and then I can keep moving right along with both of them. But I will say this: yours will be the first one to start and the first one to finish.
That's great.
Okay, awesome. And what's the time, like, when do you, like, we'll start working on that, working with you guys now on, getting the property switched over. What timeline do you need that done in?
30 days. Yeah,
Ideally?
Yeah,
Okay.
ideally, because if it takes Ponce, let's say something happens and I have to go back to Ponce and pull my permits and everything, which I got to pull them anyway. I don't want to run into my deadline of 45 days of having to start my loan all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that's what I was wondering, but it sounds great.
And I will tell you this, we do have a marketing crew that's going to be pretty much every day video and taping and everything. And like I said, I want everybody to be 100% involved in every bit of this. Communication is the key to everything. And that's one thing I learned at Disney. If you can't communicate, something's going to go wrong.
Absolutely. We completely agree on that. Ralph, we have a full team. We're not only Juliana and I. We have,
You will always have us. You will always have on your side.
I mean, Dan and Michelle have worked with us before. Dan's brother, we're developing his house, so it's been great. So I think we're
Perfect.
gonna do a great team.
I think, yeah.
That'd be
Although
great.
Ultra and Juliana are very talented, extreme. I think they'll be. It'll look good for your marketing promos that you're gonna do. They've got a beautiful product, and we're really excited about working with Ralph. Ralph is fun to talk to, extremely talented, and probably one of the more creative builders out there. So I just really excited about this process with everybody.
I'm glad.
Well, I appreciate that.
Ralph, I have to tell you, I was talking to Dan the other day.
Yeah.
And he's like, Michelle, do you know how many times we've been at Disney and I've been standing in a line looking at the detail of whatever thing we're looking at, the mine train or whatever. And he's thought, man, I sure wish I could have one of these guys from Disney build a house for me.
Well, I can do that because I built it for them. So I mean, that's something I can do. Like I said, that cabin I did in Gatlinburg up on the mountain, that was one of them country Disney cabins from the Fort Wilderness and the lodge over there. So I don't know if Michelle and them shared that with you, but yeah, that was a fun project. We themed it and we did everything there was to be done on that. So it was a fun project. So if you need anything like faux rocks or stuff like that, hey, I can make them.
Yeah, he can make anything. So I think this will be a great collaboration.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Great. So,
Great. I mean, John, do you want to add something?
No, I mean, everybody seems like they're going to be able to collaborate at a high level, which is what I was hoping for. And I was just going to say that Michelle, I can give you a call, and Ralph obviously as well, and we'll begin the process of, like you said, Michelle, switching over the lot, and then that way you don't get your financing, and everybody will stay on track.
Yeah. Now let me say this one thing. Once we get through the process and we start everything, I want everybody to make sure they have my phone number because I'm still consulting with Disney, and my phone has to stay on 24/7 for them because I still get phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning wanting to know where a valve is to turn the water off because it's flooding something. So don't ever hesitate to pick the phone up and call me because if I don't know there's a problem, I can't fix it.
Ralph, it's the same here. We work 24/7. You can ask Danny. I mean, you can call me anytime, every day, and we're just here.
Perfect.
It's true.
Yeah.
Perfect.
For you.
All right. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for your time. Nice to meet you, Ralph. Nice to meet you, John. I think that we'll be in contact. Let me know, Michelle, and that when you finalize with them in regards of acquiring the property as we don't know that, and then we'll be in touch to like start the process as soon as possible.
All right. Sounds good, guys. It was great to meet all of you again.
Great, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. All right. Bye.